Mercoledì 20 novembre siamo in partenza per New York e quindi per Dallas. Inizia il viaggio per il cinquantesimo anniversario della morte di Kennedy.
Arrivato a New York, sono le 3 del pomeriggio qua, le 9 in Italia, devo adesso aspettare 3 ore per la coincidenza per Dallas. Qui a New York fa abbastanza freddino. Siamo sull'air train che porta da una terminal all'altro e sto andando verso il terminal 2 dove parte l'aereo per Dallas. Sono le 5 della mattina in Italia e sono le 10 di sera qui a Dallas. Sto aspettando il bagaglio, il tempo che arrivi in albergo saranno passate 24 ore dalla partenza, ma ci siamo a Dallas. La reception della Dolphus. Sto andando a piedi verso Dealey Plaza, purtroppo piovigina. Siamo adesso su Main Street e ci abbiamo verso Dealey Plaza, questo è il Kennedy Memoria, andremo poi a visitarlo con più calma. È iniziato purtroppo a pioviginare, speriamo che non aumenti. Quello è il Texas School Book Deposito dove ha sparato via Beholder, sono tutti preparativi per la stampa e qui dovevi ritirare il media accreditation. Siamo su Elm Street, il giorno prima della cerimonia, ci sono tutti i preparativi, stanno rifacendo il manto, questo è il press riser, su cui dovrebbe essere domani, verrà aperto alle 4 di mattina. 22 novembre è arrivato il giorno del cinquantesimo anniversario, siamo davanti all'hotel Adolphus dove siamo per la conferenza e ci avviamo verso Daly Square. Fa freddo, piove e non sarà una giornata semplice e stiamo andando molto prima, sono ancora le 7:30 di mattina e si prevede grande folla, molto orgoglioso di avere il mio pass stampa. Vedremo un pochettino, inizia la giornata. Fino a ieri si stava benissimo, temperatura primaverile, è sceso un freddo incredibile e piovigine in questo momento ha smesso, anche il tempo è a lutto per JFK. Siamo su Main Street, cominciano i blocchi, non è permesso oggi il traffico di alcun tipo, la piazza è blindata. La piazza è già bloccata dalla polizia, mi hanno fermato, sono riuscito a passare solo grazie al pass media. Fermiamoci un attimo al Memorial Kennedy. È nella piazza accanto a Dealey Plaza. Il poliziotto ci sta indicando dove andare, per andare nel press riser. Passiamo sotto l'edificio da cui ha sparato Oswald, quella è la finestra. Possiamo fare l'intero giro. Ecco l'ingresso per i media. Abbiamo passato il controllo. Siamo nel pieno del settore stampa, antenne da tutto il mondo. Eccoci in sala stampa, che qui sono giornalisti da tutto il mondo. Ecco la postazione della Rai. Passati i vari controlli, ci avviamo presso lo stand press riser, dove sono i fotografi. Mancano ancora diverse ore alla cerimonia. Ecco il Grassy Hall, triple underpass e stiamo per entrare sul press riser. Bello affollato, come potete vedere. trovare un posto. Appunto la postazione dei fotografi qui nella colonna centrale, ancora mancano diverse ore, ha smesso di piovere, stiamo vedendo. La tribuna stampa diventa sempre più affollata. Accanto a fotografi professionisti, mancano ancora diverse ore. Mancano ancora 3 ore, si prevede pioggia, nel frattempo potrebbe migliorare. L'attesa continua, manca poco più di un'ora. Manca poco più di un'ora, i volontari stanno cercando di asciugare le sedie al pubblico del settore d'onore.
Plaza and went to the museum that's in one of the parts of the ceremony today that I think will probably be very meaningful is when the story of David
Kennedy a Napoli.
That's what I was going to do too.
That pennant, yeah. Pochi minuti dall'inizio della cerimonia inizia a piovere.
In the early morning hours, a helicopter last seesaw battle in quite a few of the states all night long.
The Constitution of the United States.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
È quasi mezzogiorno, la cerimonia sta per cominciare. Ha smesso di piovere, è molto freddo, però vedremo.
To strengthen its shield of the new and the weak.
Okay, we're just throwing stuff in the whole time.
Please remain standing for the national anthem, performed by Monica Saldivar.
Oh, sing, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight? Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets brought alive the bombs bursting in and gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh,
Please be seated. Today's invocation is presented by the Most Reverend Bishop Kevin J. Farrell of the Catholic Diocese of Dallas.
Lifted us up from the horrible tragedy enacted in this place, from the cruel suffering that was born on this hill, from the shock and horror that gripped our nation, and from the years when we as citizens of this city suffered and were implicated by the gun shot by one man that killed the president in whom many of us had set our hopes and dreams for a better America. It was your abiding inspiration and active presence among us, Lord, that moved us ever forward despite the temptation only to lament and to be paralyzed by our grief. You turned our sorrow into a firm commitment to move forward. You turned our grief into a resolve to refashion our city to a place where life flourishes and true love abounds. You turned our devastation to a commitment to rebuild here the city of God, a city where all are welcomed, nurtured, and cared for. We rejoice with gratitude in all that you have caused to happen here in a place which was disgraced, scorned, and ruthlessly judged by ourselves and others. Kennedy, to dream of a world that never was, and to say, why not? May God bless the United States of America.
And now, please welcome the Mayor of Dallas, the Honorable Mike Rawlings.
Half a century of horror that remains etched in the American psyche. Even those old enough
And another waned a half a century ago when hope and hatred collided right here in Dallas. We watched the nightmarish reality that in our front yard, our president had been taken from us, taken from his family, taken from the world. John Fitzgerald Kennedy's presidency, his life, and yes, his death, seemed to mythologically usher in the next 50 years. Rest from memory as her father wept, just like the skies today. Well, the past is never in the past. This was a lifetime ago. Now, today, we the people of Dallas honor the life, legacy, and leadership of the man who called us to think not of our own interest, but of our country's. We give thanks for his life and his service. We offer condolences to his family, especially his daughter Caroline, on this difficult day. We pay tribute to an idealist without illusions who helped build a more just and equal world. We salute a commander-in-chief who stared down a nuclear threat to this country. We praise a writer who profiled true courage and modeled it himself. We applaud a visionary who created a corps of young Americans to promote peace around the globe. We stand in awe of a dreamer who challenged us to literally reach for the moon, though he himself would not live to see us achieve that goal. Other goals were even tougher, have taken longer to reach, and we, the United States, still struggle towards some even as we speak, as do we here in Dallas. But we're fortified by the knowledge that we have always had big goals and big aspirations in this city, set by our founding fathers like John Neely Bryan and George Dealey, the namesake of this plaza, re-energized by Mayor Eric Johnson, the mayor who led Dallas in the post-assassination years. These 5 decades
have seen us turn civic heartbreak into hard work. They've seen us go from youthful invincibility to existential vulnerability to greater maturity as a city and a community. On the one-year anniversary of the assassination of the late Rabbi Levi Olin of Temple Emmanuel, one of our city's greatest spiritual leaders, gave voice to Dallas's communal pain unleashed on that day. Rabbi Olin said then, quote, "Contrary to the impassioned judgment of that horrible moment, the city is not guilty of the crime, but in those awesome days following the assassination, the most powerful searchlight man possesses was focused on this city. Every flaw, every raw spot, every wrinkle, and every uncleanness was put under a microscope and shown to the world." He continued, "The city of rich palaces and tall towers of commerce were set amid slums and hovels. As the powerful light shone upon it, the city, it was learned, had been inhospitable to honorable debate." End quote. The heartbreak and hurt the city felt. He stated plainly the defects and failings that were laid bare before the entire world. But most important, he called for Dallas to use this tragedy to seek a true transformation. Look around today. I believe we have heeded that call. The people of this city have been filled with a sense of industry born of tragedy, driven to improve the substance of Dallas, not just the image of it. Today, because of the hard work of many people, Dallas is a different city. That tragedy, an opportunity was granted to us, the chance to learn how to face the future when it's the darkest and the most uncertain, how to hold high the torch even when the flame flickers and threatens to go out. As the people of Dallas did then, each of us will meet our oncoming challenges head on, with courage, honoring, but not living in the past, and never flinching from the truth. We will meet the future with the same vigor, optimism, and unfailing sense of duty that our young president embodied. Speech he never got to make. But those unspoken words resonate far beyond the life of the man. To commemorate that day and those words, we are unveiling a memorial right here in this historic plaza. It is inscribed with the last lines of his undelivered speech and will serve as a reminder and a permanent monument to President Kennedy's memory. I leave you with those resonant words. We in this country, in this generation, are by destiny rather than choice the watchmen on the walls of world freedom. We ask, therefore, that we may be worthy of our power and our responsibility, that we may exercise our strength with wisdom and restraint, and that we may achieve in our time and for all time the ancient vision of peace on earth, goodwill toward men. That must always be our goal, and the righteousness of our cause must always underlie our strength. For as was written long ago, except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. Ladies and gentlemen, would you join me in a moment of silence in honor of the life of John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
Of a peaceful world is our guide for the present and our vision for the future. The quest is the greatest adventure of our century. We sometimes chafe at the burden of our obligations, the complexity of our decisions, the agony of our choices. But there is no comfort or security in evasion, no solution in abdications, no relief in irresponsibility. The problems of the world cannot be possibly solved by skeptics or cynics, whose horizons are limited by the obvious realities. We need men who can dream of things that never were and ask, why not? Those things that we talk about today which seem unreal, where so many people doubt that they can be done. The fact of the matter is, it has been true all through our history, they will be done.
The faithful lightning of his terror.
by Pastor Emeritus of the St. Luke's Community United Methodist Church, Zan W. Holmes, Jr.
Send us forth to claim the brand new future that you continue to offer us beyond our tragedies and our triumphs.
You've been dead 50 years now.
Wasn't real exciting.
La cerimonia è finita, la piazza comincia a svuotarsi.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our program. We thank you for your attendance.
La cerimonia è finita, è stato emozionante, molto freddo, molta acqua, ma ne costa la pena venire qua. Un ricordo di JFK 50 anni fa.
Yeah, I shot it on the video screen.
Finita la cerimonia, torna a sala stanca. Questo è dall'ultimo discorso di John Kennedy, quello che doveva fare ma non riusciva a fare a Dallas.